live. We're streaming live and we are live in person. So good morning, and for those of you online, good afternoon or good evening, depending on your time zone. And if you are tuning in now or seated in this room, you're here to participate in our meditation service. So I am going to go ahead and we're going to begin with a centering, then we're going to stay in the stillness, and then we're going to come out in a wave of prayer. And that's the way the meditation works. And before we do that, a couple things, just the guidelines. First guideline is just to make sure any of your electronic devices, for those of you who are in person, are either in airplane mode, meditation mode, or in silence. And for those of you at home, you might want to put your device on Do Not Disturb. And also just a few reminders. I know some of you are very seasoned in your meditation practice, and some of you are kind of newer at it. And even those of us who are seasoned, every once in a while, we remember that first initial bothersome experience where I'm going into meditation and the mind is chattering and I'm thinking about things to do or things that were. And so we're going to go ahead and start with a couple intentions. I've found over the years that when you set an intention for your meditation, such as, I will not be distracted, and I'm going to allow kindness and gentleness and peace and love to be the very nature of my meditation. If there is some mind chatter, that's all right. We're looking to go for a place, as Wayne Dyer would say, that space between the words. That's where we're looking to be, where there's no figuring, there's no thinking. There's just a spaciousness as we move from the surface mind to the higher mind. And in science speak, we would be going from beta into alpha brain waves, where we're in a lucid state of awareness. A lucid state, to be more accurate, of divine awareness. All meditation shares the same golden thread, whether it's mantra, whether it's inquiry, whether it's activation, any of those, whether it's visioning, all of that, intentions that can be associated with a particular meditation, as in inquiry or visioning, is you're opening to a question and allowing yourself to see or feel or hear or know an answer. An activation or a mantra is sitting with a particular frequency of divine energy. So whether that's a moving, like a Tai Chi or Qigong, that's about integrating it into your bones and cells and tissues, having a mind, body, spirit experience. All of those are wonderful. Some people in their practices say that you must sit with nothing crossed and that everything should be sitting erect and not laying down. Those are just intentions or guidelines for particular meditations. In here, I'm just going to invite you to be comfortable in any way that feels right and good to you. And also, if you choose to do this as an open-eyed meditation, you're more than welcome to do so. Any open-eyed meditation that's not a video or which is watching in nature, it's best to do it as a one-pointed, meaning you find one singular point to focus your eyes on. Maybe it's something on the windowsill up there, or something in front of you, and don't let your eyes wander. Your eyes wander, your mind will wander, otherwise, as probably about 95 to 99% of us are going to do, we're going to do it as a closed-eye meditation. Whatever feels right and good to you, and once again, just making sure all cellular devices are in meditation mode as we ourselves move into meditation mode. Well, we are now ready, the rest will be self-explanatory, to begin. Just saying to ourselves and our minds, I give myself permission to relax. As we invite, as we evoke, and as we allow the divine energies of peace and love, beauty and grace, wellness and goodness to wash over us and to rise up from within us. Knowing we have no place to go, we have nothing to do except completely surrender into the deepest states of relaxation, rejuvenation, and revelation. I'm going to invite you to bring your awareness to your breathing without changing it, just observing the inhalation and the exhalation with an intention that we are allowing it to become deeper and fresher and wider, all on its own. No efforting. Just becoming aware as you feel that soft and gentle breeze. Whether it flows in and out of your mouth or your nose. Just feel as it comes in on the inhalation. And feel it on the exhalation as it moves out. With the intention of allowing our breath to become deeper and fresher, we take a moment and utilize the exhalation as the vehicle of release, of letting go. On the next exhalation, I'm going to invite you to join me as we let go of any tension, any concerns, worries, dormant or otherwise, from the past week, year, lifetime. We don't need to know how. We don't need to know why. We simply exhale and let go, imagining like a plume of steam that evaporates into the sunlight. And we are letting go. On the next exhalation, I'm going to invite you to let go of efforting and trying. Exhaling, letting go. Letting go of figuring and analyzing. Simply exhaling. And letting go of time. On the next exhalation, I'm going to invite you to join me as we let go of the past and any energetic connections to it. Letting go of the future and any energetic projections to it. And letting go of the present and any tethers or ties to it. As you begin to notice the entire time, the inhalation has been drawing in the energy of the eternal. And you begin to feel the inhalation drawing in the frequencies, the energies of freedom and spaciousness, calm and clarity, peace and serenity. I'm going to invite you to shift your awareness ever so slightly to imagine the top of your head, your crown, as though it were wide open like the dome of an observatory. And as you're breathing, you can feel the breath coming in through your crown, down through your throat, and into your heart center. And as you exhale, you can feel it rising up and returning to source. You begin to feel the oneness, both sides of the breath of life. Some people feel or see tingles or shimmers of light as you inhale, traveling in through the crown down into your heart. As we exhale, you can feel the breath fanning the internal, eternal flame. And the heart begins to grow, illuminated with a contagion of peace and goodness. It is beginning to soothe and soften the entire body. All the cells are beginning to illuminate from the inside out. As the light, the energy washes over us from the outside in. And you can feel that energy making its way into your toes. Soothing, softening, expanding into the balls of the feet, the arches, the heels and ankles. Everything softening, strengthening, as all the muscles, bones, tendons, and ligaments begin to illuminate. You can feel the energy rising from the ankles, up through the calves and shins, into the knees. And from the knees, through your thighs and hamstrings, into your hips. And from our toes to our hips, you can feel the energy of rejuvenation and relaxation, softening and strengthening the legs. And that energy begins to swirl around in your hips, the base of the spine. You can feel the intestines, your lower back, your kidneys, flooding with wellness, calm, rejuvenation, making its way up into your lower belly, your stomach, your adrenals, your sacrum. Everything softening, strengthening as the energy continues to rise into your pancreas, your core, your middle back, your spine tingling with light as the energy makes its way, weaving in and out of your ribs up into your heart center. And your heart begins to expand even more. You can feel your shoulder blades, jawbone and cheeks. You can feel it on your scalp. Every follicle flooded with light. And that energy begins to ripple out from your physical body into your emotional body. As our emotions recalibrate and return. bottoms of your feet up through your legs and release from your crown. And then I'm going to invite you to imagine you're standing in whatever place in nature would be the most beautiful, tranquil, magnificent place. Standing barefoot. And on your next inhalation, imagine the breath coming in through the top of your head, traveling down your central core, through your legs and feet, and into the ground. Anchoring heaven on earth through you. Inhaling, feeling the energy travel throughout your entire physical body, to your feet, into the most brilliant, fertile soil of Mother Earth. Exhaling, feeling the oneness of heaven on earth through you. And as that breath continues to cycle, we take a moment in deep gratitude, knowing that no matter where we are, no matter what is going on, the presence of bliss, peace, beauty, love, the eternal energies are always radiating themselves. Back of all life, there is a divine frequency that has been called nirvana, or bliss, love, universal presence. These eternal frequencies never go anywhere, and if we take a moment and remember the truth that life, capital L life, which undergirds the human experience, is always good. It is cooperative. It is brilliant. It is powerful. That which we call chi, prana, life force, that is breathing your breath right now, that is orbiting planets, our beloved Earth, around the sun, that brings forward the seasons, that germinates seeds and grows them into trees, or blooms them into flowers. That which allows snow to melt and turn into cascading waterfalls and rivers, or simply the power that crashes waves upon shores. All of this energy, this life force, is backed by the omnipresence of the divine. And it is good and only good. We open to the omniamorous nature of life. Love, capital L, love that surpasses emotional love. This is what we allow ourselves to remember. Some may call it home, for the eternal is truly home. It is our home, and we are one with it. And as stated in every sacred text and every scripture around the globe, in one way or another, we are born in the image and likeness of God. Beyond our personality, beyond our name, beyond our gender, race, beyond any titles, affiliations, there is that divine spark. And it has everything we need. We take a moment knowing something wonderful has happened just by relaxing, attuning, becoming aware. Rejuvenation is the spontaneous experience of relaxation. For this and so much more, I'm grateful for our time. We come back into a lucid state of divine awareness. And it's from this place of ever-expanding good, we simply allow it to continue throughout the rest of this day, this week, this month, this year, this life. Good to greater good. And we simply agree to allow it to be in acceptance by saying, and so it is. Amen.
Amen.
And whenever you feel ready, if you haven't already, you can begin to open your eyes, unless you want to stay in the zone. We've got a few minutes before before we start our regular service. For those of you at home, we'll be starting our music, our message in about 3 or 4 minutes. For those of you staying here, if you want to use the bathroom that's up there, for those of you here in person, if you're going to take a little break at home, this will be the time. And we will be back in just a few.
welcome you this morning and online. It's funny, on the board in the back it says May 2023, and it's just to see it in writing, like right there, it's wild that we're almost done with May in 2023. So anyway, thank you for enjoying our beautiful May with us together. It's a little gloomy, but kind of nice. We get to cozy in together and enjoy this message. So let's rise and say our declaration together, please. It's in your program. There is one life, and that life is God. That life is perfect, and that life is my life now. I am here to receive the divine message for me. I am awake, I am tapped in, and I am transformed. And you may be seated. And Scott will come forward to do our announcements.
Okay, just right there. And that's you two, Brian and Jesse, and Angel.
Travis,
Thank you guys. Okay, now, gotta check mine. Remember to turn your cell phones off, which I didn't do. Okay. We have a few classes and events. Let me tell you about them. Mystical Energy Medicine 5-week online class.
Woo!
Yeah, Mystical Energy Medicine class begins Wednesday, May 24th, which is this Wednesday at 6 p.m. It's on Zoom. It will explore and experience the divine energy medicine, principles of healing, purpose, and creation, and details and registration are at soulcenteroc.com. And we also have a summer meditation and nature retreat with Reverend Keith. It's coming up Thursday through Friday, July 13th through 14th, so the middle of July, for 2 days, starting in the desert and within minutes to the top of the mountains above Palm Springs. Meditation, fellowship, and easy hiking in nature. Details and registration, again, on our website.
Do you want to come tell us what the class is about? For those of you who may not know what mystical energy is.
Sure, I'll give you the 1 second synopsis. Mystical energy medicine, which is in conjunction, some of you have been asking about divine energy medicine. There are 2 different classes. They kind of go together, they dovetail, and we're going to go over your energy body, the chakra system, but we're also going to go into practices that allow you to understand things like being a medical intuitive, understanding the language of your physical, emotional, and mental bodies, having a deeper awareness. And I would say it's more about the practices that we're going to do in the class and less about the learning, the intellectual understanding of it. And it's always what it says, mystical. So it's about a once a year, sometimes once every year and a half class. So if you're thinking about it, just let you know, you got to get in while the getting's good. And that is from this Wednesday.
I'm in.
Okay, me too, actually. I'll be there.
Me too.
And lastly, with Reverend Keith, we have is a daily affirmative prayer, which streams live on our Facebook page or Zoom at 9:30 Pacific daily, except Sundays. The link is in our newsletter or on our website. And A Course in Miracles with Akili Beckwith is on Tuesdays from 6 to 8 Pacific. Join anytime throughout the year. You can just drop in. And details are on soulcenteroc.com. So sign up for our website. Sign up on our website for our weekly newsletter on soulcenteroc.com. Okay, these 2 kind of work together if you want to get involved and plugged in. First is volunteers. Help us thrive by volunteering. The welcome table is really the easiest thing. There's a sign-up sheet, and they're really easy. We'll train you, go over what needs to be done, and it's a way of doing sacred service, which is one of our practices. And then the other one is soul circles, which is a way of connecting socially with others in the community, either in person or Zoom. And you can send an email to me at soulcirclesoc@gmail.com. And now we're going to sing our congregational song.
I think you all know this song. Rejoice that you understand and know me, the reality of being. Then you will see the uselessness of praying to that which forms your own body, your own business, and your own home. This is brought out in the experience, however, only in proportion to the recognition and realization that your own consciousness is the law, and that there is no other reality outside of you. The higher you go in the understanding of consciousness as God, the greater transparency you are for the reign of God in your affairs. Let us turn within and pray. I'm just so grateful for this Soul Center community, every single person that is here and online. I'm so grateful for Jessica and Patricia and their vision and their courage and their actions to birth this. I'm so grateful for Reverend Keith and all of the healing that he's brought to me and everyone in this community. I'm so grateful for Jerome that leads the technology that we can reach a global audience. I'm so grateful for every volunteer behind the scenes, the people who print the programs and do the accounting, who coordinate the volunteers, hang the curtains. Every single person contributes. I'm so grateful for the prayer chaplains too, that hold for us. They hold vigil every single day for our upliftment and for our understanding that we are one with this powerful presence of God. And God is all loving, all powerful, with us at all moments, all time. And we are always that one with that presence. And with that knowing, I bless the service today and bless Reverend Keith and his delivery of his message. I bless the musicians and the powerful voice that is Angel. I bless each congregant with song and dance, and that they receive the divine message from them. And with this, I release it into the ethers, knowing that it is true, and so it is.
So it is.
Amen.
Amen.
Okay, so now it's time for our agape affirmation. You will find them in your program and coming up on the screen. I'll speak a line, and then we'll all repeat them aloud together in sincerity and acceptance. Please rise. One presence, one life, one God, here, now, and always.
One presence, one God, here, now, and always.
The power of this awareness dissolves all fear, doubt, and worry.
The power of this awareness dissolves all fear, doubt, and worry.
God-intoxicated thoughts forge a new groove in my consciousness.
God-intoxicated thoughts forge a new groove in my consciousness.
Health, vigor, and vitality are the order of my day. Every
Health, vigor, and vitality are the order of my day, every day.
The high vibration of principle and practice is top priority in my life.
The high vibration of principle and practice is top priority in my life.
I say yes in advance and meet my good everywhere I go.
I say yes in advance and meet my good everywhere I go.
In all things, I am grateful.
In all things, I am grateful.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Amen. You may now be seated. And for those who would like to experience private, individual, and confidential prayer today, please come to the patio after service and see one of the licensed Soul Center prayer chaplains wearing a blue shawl. And you can come with an issue or just come to bless your week. Come and play and pray with us. Thank you.
This is not For you have my highest plan. Only in love will you find peace. Only by choice will you be free. And all that you say, all that you do, it really matters through and through.
did not come here to perpetuate drama and trauma and to go deeper into pain, struggle, and strife. You came here to be liberated, that you experience heaven on earth. And as we continue this month, our month theme is nurturing and expanding our good. Nurturing, expanding good is what we came here to do. Good is always expanding. We know through science, if you look out through the Hubble telescope or any other, that science has said yes to knowing the universe just keeps expanding. And when you think about it, I always marveled where they used to think that there was like an edge to the universe and that was like the end. And it's like, well, of course, they're always like, what's on the other side of the end? Because it's ever expanding, so that is just proof that there is no end. There is only an eternal bliss and grace and beauty. We're going to get to the bliss, grace, and beauty qualifier in just a moment. But I want to just welcome you and know that we are part of the Agape International Spiritual Center. We are an affiliate right here in Newport Beach. For those of you streaming in live, if you're ever in the Southern California area, please feel free to drop by and join this beautiful group of people. We will take good care of you. If you're making travel plans to Southern California, please pop in. And also, I just want to welcome you and remember that as an Agape affiliate, that means we're part of the New Thought Ageless Wisdom teachings that honors the golden thread. What is the golden thread? The golden thread is truth, the absolute truth, the capital T truth, that wiggles its way through all of the mystical teachings of all of the religions. All of the religions have a mystical sect where truth is taught. Should you make it above the dogmas and the traditions that sometimes encapsulate or keep people stuck in their own trauma and their own issues in a perpetual cycle of I've got an issue and I've got to get over it, I've got an issue and I've got to get over it, and there's nothing wrong with I have an issue and I have to get over it unless you're just regurgitating it over and over, and maybe you're somebody who just likes to relive trauma and drama on a regular basis. For me, I prefer to move into something a little bit more delicious, and life is delicious. If you were to take a snapshot energetically of every person on the planet right now, you just move into, remember those little photo booths, you go in and you put your dollar in, or $5, $10, whatever it is, and you get the 4 little shots. If you were to go in and and today you can actually get a picture of your aura, you can get your chakras done, you can see what's going on in your energy field. You would see that most people on a scale of 1 to 100 are living somewhere between 1 and 20 of their good, of their bliss, of what Joseph Campbell said, follow your bliss, because your bliss knows how to evolve you and get you to increase your divine energy quotient so that you may hold more good. Life is inherently good. This is what our teachings are. We're talking that capital L life is capital G good. These are the eternal frequencies back of all life, whether you're familiar with them or not. The fascinating part is that science is proving that life is good. That we've already discovered that diseases that were thought were incurable, all of a sudden were cured. That which they called the miraculous is now being backed up by science. The placebo effect, which allows us to know that just your mindset can cascade a plethora of pharmaceuticals that you make in your own body, not that you ingest from outside your body, to bring about wellness. This is what we are saying yes to participating in. We have the capability, we have the gifts and the talents. And just like we were talking about, as Lori was bringing forward in the reading by Joel Goldsmith, when he was referencing that if you're going to be chasing on the outside world, whether it's for your good or for your bad, some people are chasing their bad unbeknownst to themselves. You're going to stay in a perpetual cycle, of course I'm paraphrasing, to a perpetual cycle of something that's outside of you. The essence of the writing was that the power of creation resides within you. You are one born in the image and likeness of God. You have the power that created the cosmos within you. Most of us play so small. Even those people that you've met that seem to be big, whether it's a Rockefeller or a DuPont or anybody else that has come along and has been big in the world, If you follow some of them, like Ralph Waldo Emerson or some of the other mystical teachers of the past, their bigness comes from the divine, the power within them that allows them to say what the master teacher Jesus said, "It is not me, but the Father within that is doing the works." That is an acknowledgement of I am born in the image and likeness of God. And the same master teacher said, "These and greater things you shall do by realizing," now this part I'm adding on, but what he means is by realizing I am born in the image and likeness of God. Very paradoxical when you think about how the world has been taught. You are born in the image and likeness of God, but how dare you think that you can participate in the world as a divine being of light? We are here to say, yes, it is a very humbling and very beautiful experience. And as we move into a recognition where we get to take the science of spirituality at the convergence point, which is you, and understand, as the topic of today is, uniting states of consciousness. There are different areas of your life, whether it's relationships, whether it's finances, whether it's creativity, whether it's your health and wellness, all these different areas of our lives, and we tend to move into different frames of consciousness. I might go into a different frame of consciousness with my relationship with so-and-so, then I move into a different frame of consciousness when I'm with so-and-so. This person, oh my God, I love them. This person's an energy vampire. Oh God, you can only take them in small doses. I might move into different states of consciousness when I'm exercising. Oh, I feel really good. All of a sudden, something happens in my physical body and I move into a state of consciousness that is of fear. Oh my God, I have this or that, and it's everything's going to hell in a handbasket, and my days are numbered, whatever the thoughts may be. When we start to move into doubts and worries, we're being pulled into a different state of consciousness. We want to remain, the whole idea, if you want to live from your bliss body, if you want to be in the world but not of the world, is to unite into a united state of consciousness. We want to know that we understand what Abraham Lincoln said in his address when he said, "A house divided cannot stand." When he was addressing the country back at the time of slavery, I don't know if any of you knew this, but back at that time, that address was addressing, some people thought, oh, it's okay, we'll just let the South stay in slavery, and we'll let the North stay without slavery, and we'll just have a country that operates like that. He knew that that would destroy the country. You can't have different states of consciousness competing within the same energy field. One of them is going to seek to triumph, and therefore it is going to want to destroy. He saw that, and when he was making that quote, he was referencing what it says in Scripture, that a kingdom divided cannot stand. A house divided cannot stand. Your life is your house, and it cannot stand in its magnificence if it is divided. We want to make sure that we are a house united within our own beingness. That means the first step is you're going to become aware and cognizant of what your consciousness is doing in any given area of your life. When it comes to paying bills, when it comes to earning money, when it comes to being in a relationship with your spouse or a friend or your child or your parents, you want to become conscious. How am I operating, behaving, interacting in these states of consciousness? And how do I bring myself into a united state of consciousness so that I bring that love and that expression of compassion and joy and oneness and wholeness into every interaction in my life? We want to make sure that we understand the difference between our brain using us and us using our brain. When you are allowing your trauma, your fears, your worries, and doubts to influence your choices, you could be perpetuating or expanding more trauma and drama in your life. We want to make sure that we move into an expanded state of consciousness. And again, as we bring science into the equation, now you can get an EEG, and they put the little electrodes on your head, and they can measure your brain waves, and they can find out, are you in beta consciousness, alpha, theta? Are you in delta? Are you in gamma? All of those are measuring the frequency. And so what we know from the science of an EEG is that you can see, and this is the part I want you to hold on to or explore. When we go into meditation, beta consciousness is the consciousness we take out into the day. We're out there, we're having our surface mind consciousness to whatever degree that you've evolved it to be. We wake up in the morning and we kind of move into beta consciousness. You probably just came out of delta or theta consciousness in your sleep, depending on how well you sleep, and then you wake up. Now when you start moving, now the beta consciousness is vibrating a little bit faster. Then as you start to move down, when you have the faster vibrational thoughts, you tend to cling on to stuff more. So if I'm moving into a fight or flight, I'm going to cling on to those thoughts, and they're going to guide me. My brain is going to be using me instead of me using my brain. In order for me to use my brain, I have to rise above that. So the science simply says, as you start slowing down, and this is where we move into meditation, if you allow your meditation practice to grow you, then eventually it will overwhelm you in the most glorious way, where you'll start moving into ceaseless meditation. Ceaseless meditation is synonymous with divine awareness. Do you think that the universe is going, oh my God, I gotta meditate right now, I gotta get calm, clear, there's things going down on earth, I better meditate, I better get my prayer on, I better make sure, oh, gotta orbit the earth, gotta shine stars, gotta do all this. No, the universe does not have to meditate. It is in a ceaseless, pristine awareness. You're born in the image and likeness of God. That ceaseless, pristine awareness, which we sometimes refer to as ceaseless meditation, also known as ceaseless prayer, is holy awareness. The more you meditate, the more you move into the prayer field, the more you will thin the veil, and you will move into a lucid state. Isn't everybody after the experience, no matter where you go, no matter what you do, no matter what you're confronted with, you always make the right choice? You're just like, oh, okay. You just come from a centered place of divine strength, and you go, boom, this is what's going to be the best for everything and everyone. Now, most people oftentimes are like, this is what's going to be the best for me. But we're moving into this is the best, the win-win of this is the best for everything and everyone, including me. We want to move into that level of high consciousness. And so as you move into, so the science shows, as you move from beta consciousness, and we're slowing down and we're moving into alpha consciousness, and then the veil thins when you get into theta, and it slows down enough that thoughts can release. This is where you become the observer. This is where you can witness your trauma body. This is where the juice is, where you can, when you can witness your surface mind consciousness and the beliefs that you have, then you can change them. That is where transformation, transmutation takes place. You get to witness, oh my God. So for example, years ago, I was working on myself, as I do all the time, just continually evolving. In, just a little plug for the Divine and Mystical Energy Medicine class, because this is what we go over. In medical intuition, you understand what your body is telling you. Some medical intuitive is able to feel, and that would include anybody. Anybody has these abilities. There's no people that are more capable. They're just more willing to surrender. You start to understand, I couldn't feel this before, but now that I have made myself still and calm, I feel some tightness in my chest. So in my case, I had a headache. It was a low-level, dull headache in the middle of my forehead. I shared this story years ago at Soul Center, so maybe some of you are going to hear this, but I'm going to ask you to hear it for the first time. I was getting ready to take my car in to be serviced, and I brought it in, and I knew it needed work, and this and that, or whatever, and the auto mechanic, they give you the little write-up and said, oh, we think it's going to be about this much. I left, and I had this headache, and I was going to wait several hours for my car to be done, and go back and get it, and I had this headache, and I was like, oh, I'm going to go take a Tylenol. No, wait, stop. Don't suppress it. Don't ignore it. What is it trying to tell you? And as I sat with it and I moved into a state, and I'm like, let me witness this discomfort, this pain, and see what it's trying. Now, we all know that pain, pay attention inside now, the acronym for pain, is just in a way that your body tells you something's off. It is not to get you down. It is not to destroy you. It is not to spiral out into badness or illness. It is just to wake you up and say, listen, the alarm bell is going off. So you listen, and I'm listening, and it's like, oh, you don't trust auto mechanics. And I was like, oh, well, who should trust auto mechanics? They're all thieves and crooks. And they're out to steal, my experience up to that was every time I would go to get my car, they'd say, oh, it's going to be, I don't know, $150. And then we get the call and they'd say, oh, you found this and you found that. And now, so it's going to be $500. And that had been my experience up to that. And I kept logging that in the subconscious of my energy body. You can't trust them. I went through all the machinations, like, oh, well, tell me exactly what it is, as though I like pretending that I know everything about cars, so you can't fool me. Which puts me in, and I'm like, okay, well, oh, it's the spark plug? Okay, well, I want to see that spark plug. So I would look at it, and it would have meant nothing to me, but I was just thinking, I'm going to pull one out, you're not going to screw with me, and I'll show you. And so I'm moving into a fight or flight response in order to not be taken advantage of, but all I'm doing is perpetuating being taken advantage of. And I sat there and I caught that, and I was like, oh my God, it is worth a good chuckle when you catch what are your worries, doubts, and fears. And then I said, what do I want to do about this? I said, I do not want to be at the mercy of living in a world where things are against you. It was deep on a scale of 1 to 10, me thinking that mechanics were evil, incarnate, and that they were working against you, was about a 9, 9.5 on the Richter scale. So I was like, no, I am not going to do that. I am going to go ahead and because this is the area of trust. I was like, oh, my body's telling me exactly what it's supposed to be telling me. I don't trust. The bigger picture was not only did I not trust auto mechanics, that was just a piece of not trusting life. Not trusting that life and earth and human existence can be safe and kind, and that people can be trustworthy and honest. I wanted to move into that, so I chose it right then and there. I am choosing to live in a world where I can work with people that are trustworthy and honest. And I want to make sure that I am embodying that. And I went into that prayer, the headache went away. It delivered its message. The alarm bell went off. I answered the alarm. I listened to it. I let truth set me free. And then when I went to pick up my car, not only was it less, but then they said, oh, we found this thing that was broken with your door. We fixed it on the house. No problem, no worry. It was the opposite of what I normally experience. And I was like, yes, this is how it works. Another client of mine had been working with somebody in her office, and they had been kind of stealing from the pot. They had a little bit of, what do you call the money that you keep on hand?
Petty cash.
Petty cash, yes. They had been skimming from the petty cash, and so this, as she was like, I don't know, and so she went to go set a trap to catch the person. They were suspicious of the stealing, so they went to set a trap, and they snared the thing with the camera and the whole thing. And then it was like, okay, now, when she came to me, she was like, well, what do I want to do with this? Well, we had found a pattern where she had repeatedly had stuff stolen from her over the years and was being victimized by these people. And even if we took it into a court of law, it was, oh, yes, they stole, you've been victimized, we need to punish them. In spiritual law, that's not how it works. In spiritual law, you say, I'm going to release victimization. I'm going to move into a place of allowing to know that everything is working for me. Nothing would take from me, but only give to me. Now, we don't do it in a foolish way. That doesn't mean I say all of that, and then I go ahead and I put all my money back in front of that person. It means I do it in consciousness. Then when I know I've achieved, through revelation, through realization, through the full embodiment, then I can go ahead and do that. I'm also going to forgive the person. I am not going to hold them. There is, in the world of energy, the villain and the victim, whenever you have that dynamic coming out. Now, I know in some cases when you're thinking villain, victim, when somebody has been abused, there's the abused and the abuser. We mostly think that the abuser is the one that needs to be transformed, imprisoned, punished in some way, made to pay for what they've done. And to some degree, but if we really want to allow ourselves to finish the cycle of completion, we'll allow whatever that person needs to happen in order for them to reconcile, but we're also going to bless them into reconciliation and say, no, I'm choosing to know you as a person of integrity. I'm choosing to know you as someone. Now, that can be harder or less hard depending on where you are. First, we put on our oxygen mask and we make sure we're addressing our consciousness. We do not want to create separation by making them bad and wrong. Behavior can be bad and wrong. The person is what we're going to pull into the light. We're going to pull that energy. One of the things that we know, as you've heard me talk before, about the different fields of energy, your primary field, your secondary field is an energy is one you share with someone else. Your tertiary field is the one that you share with your family. Then you move out into the fourth and fifth fields of energy that you share with your tribe and with society. You are one with all of that. You cannot escape your connection with your energy fields. There's nowhere you can go to escape it. So if I have been abused, I want to fill that energy field with cohesion and healing and transmutation. That's my job. Now, you don't have to make it a job where you're like, oh, every day I'm going to make sure. No, whatever comes into your consciousness, you bless. You bless and you invite into a vibration of wholeness, a vibration of goodness. If you need to take a break from somebody who has been in your life that has created any kind of pain or discord, I use that phrase lightly because, as it said in the reading, you are the creator of your life. The power of creation resides within you. What life are you creating? Are you creating a life where you have honest people of integrity and kindness and goodness? Or are you perpetuating something's against me? So when we look at uniting our fields of consciousness, they're all united. There's truly one field of consciousness that is a divine energy of consciousness, the holy consciousness. But in our human mindset, we get to separate and segregate out different fields of consciousness. So I want to make sure that I'm saying, okay, anything that affects this field of consciousness over here is going to affect this field of consciousness, even if you think they're separate. Oh, my belief that mechanics are untrustworthy and they're, evil incarnate, that I might think that only applies when I take my car in to be serviced by a mechanic. It applies to some degree to every area of my life. Just like having the money stolen applied to some degree in every part of her life. When she decided to release victimization, when I decided to release victimization, you start to move into that theta brainwave, move into your delta theta consciousness, where you can observe and start making divinely inspired choices. I shall transcend, I shall overcome, I shall be a house united within my own beingness. That is what we are here to do. I want to kind of just explore. We've all heard in Scripture, ask and it is given, on the one hand. This isn't necessarily from Scripture, but it's out there in the noosphere. Be careful what you wish for. You have ask and it is given, be careful what you wish for. You want to make sure, so ask and it is given means, if you were to dissect that, flesh it out a little bit more, ask and it is given means you have to dive into what is your desire. What do you truly desire? What is its highest, greatest expression? What is its holy, divine expression? And then I'm going to move into divine receptivity in order for it to fulfill itself. So it's not just, I want a Porsche, and ask and it is given. That's not the way the universe operates. We know that you move into a place of what do I truly desire, a sacred, holy relationship with so-and-so. Then you allow yourself to move into divine receptivity, and then you're going to find, where do I have splintered or fractured states of consciousness that need to be united so that I can experience what I'm seeking and desiring? That's how you move through the process. You want to make sure that's why they say, be careful what you wish for, be careful what you ask for, because whatever you wish or ask for, if you bring that into the ask and it is given vibration, it's going to come to you directly in proportion to what you believe, including all beliefs about all subject matter, about all things in your life. So we're going to bring that into a united state of consciousness. And we want to make sure, some people say, oh my God, it's so overwhelming. What am I going to do? I've got so-and-so over here that really bugs the crap out of me. I've got this situation going on over here where my finances, I've got this thing going on. Then what you want to do is you just make it simple. You just take one thing. One thing, whatever's directly in front of you. I took the one thing that was in front of me that day. That was the mechanic experience. I didn't have to go down a rabbit hole of 500 other things. You take one thing and you bring that into the light, and you will see the ripple effect in every area of your life. This woman went in and she started to go forward with this, and all of a sudden, everything started to come into cohesion. She understood what the energy of freedom was really like. It took a minute, and by a minute it was months, to get to a place where she was attracting. She's like, oh my God, the quality of people that have been coming into my life lately has been exponentially better. They're more helpful, they're more giving, they're more generous. Ever since I agreed to let go of this condemnation and this victimization from being stolen from. When we move down the rabbit hole of victimization, we will most likely tend to allow it to snowball in a direction that we do not want it to snowball in. We want to melt the snowball and move into freedom. We want to make sure that we are using our brain as our tool, not our brain using us. And by brain, I mean that is your surface level consciousness, and we're moving into that theta delta consciousness to be able to transform. So that's why I'm saying, get ready for meditations on Sunday. That's what I'm saying, sign up for the classes. I'm not a real pusher. But I am so when people are like, well, what do I do? Well, you do this. Oh, I don't know. It's like, no. You do not want to let your insecurities influence you. You don't want to allow, like, oh, but then I won't be able to, stream such and such. That's when I do that on Wednesdays. Or, oh, I don't know, I've got to get my Starbucks on Tuesdays. Or whatever it is. What's more important to you? Liberation, illumination, inspiration,
Yes.
or having a habit that is not truly serving you? Or how about this? Integrate it in to a higher expression of good in your life. Integrate whatever habit you think is so wonderful that could be limiting to you, integrate it into a higher expression of good. And then see what happens. You will never be disappointed if you allow yourself to move into and understand collective conscious cohesion. Collective conscious cohesion means you are not an isolated body of intelligence. Your intelligence is also in and shared with everybody in your life. In the noosphere, that is where most of you have heard about the 100th monkey, where there was these islands and there's these monkeys that live in all the islands, and all of a sudden on one island the monkeys start doing something, and then over here on this other island they start doing the same thing, because the energy of transference doesn't know any boundaries between land mass or oceans. The same thing has happened throughout human history. You look around what was going on in the Egyptian period of the pyramids, you look over at the Native American and the Aztec pyramids, you look at all this, and there was a consciousness, and human consciousness has been evolving, and people come up with the same ideas because it enters into the noosphere, and that's where we all have our interaction and connection. You are not a bystander that is just going to be like, well, I'll just see what happens. No, you as a spiritual master are saying, what do I want to experience and put into the noosphere? What do I want to experience and allow myself? You'll start in your primary field and it'll ripple out into the collective, and you can allow yourself to put it into the collective and ripple back into your primary. However you want to do it, you are creating collective cohesion in consciousness across the board, uniting your states of consciousness in every area of your life. We're all in agreement that we're going to allow that to be, yes?
Yes.
All right. And I guess to put it more basic, you are the cause of your effect. We all know about the law of cause and effect. It is not outside of us, it is directly within us. You are the cause of your effect, and that leaves no bone and no stone unturned. You are going to go ahead and you're not going to blame or shame or make anybody wrong, including yourself. You're going to say, ooh, what is the divine idea? How do I transcend? How do I move into a greater experience of good? And it turns out that this woman and the person who had stolen from her, she decided not to persecute or do any of those things. She decided to move into a state of consciousness where they ended up coming to her and saying, I was going through a really hard time, which put me into a place of lack. And this is what I did. She started crying when he came up to her and admitted what had gone on, and didn't have to go down like, we're going to persecute you, I've got video footage, and we're going to take you down. No. All of a sudden, he realized, because her consciousness was rising, as I rise, you rise. His consciousness started rising, and he needed to clear the slate and get to a place of like, okay. So he did clear the slate, and he had to transcend his fear. The fear was, if I tell you, then you're going to get upset and retaliate. And so that's not what happened. She had already started the work, and she's like, oh, look at this, a demonstration of how it actually works. So wherever you are going to allow yourself to move into that meditative state of holy awareness, that divine consciousness, and you're going to allow yourself to transcend every situation, and you'll only take what's right in front of you. That's all you need to do. Whatever's right in front of you is what we're going to go ahead and do. And we're going to remember what the philosopher, what's his name, Marshall McLuhan, he was a philosopher. And he said that a point of view can be a very dangerous luxury when substituted for insight and understanding. A point of view, your opinion, can be a very dangerous luxury because I could condemn and crucify something based on an understanding of an opinion instead of moving into insight. So we're going to allow ourselves to move into insight. We're not going to do anything unless we're ready to do it, and we're going to let it be good, and we're going to let it be fun, and we're going to let it be delicious, and of course benevolent. And with that being said, we're going to go ahead and we're going to move into our prayer. And I'm going to hold you, just all you need to do during our prayer is anything at all that is requiring healing with regards to feeling safe or prosperous or in self-love or in creative expression or nurtured, whatever it is, you're going to allow that to be right here, right now. Oh, I'm grateful to know that everything we need is available to us. Ask and it is given, and we move into that vibration of a divine alignment. Remembering and recognizing that wherever I am, God is. For I am born in the image and likeness, and I am one with this holy presence, this omniamorous magnificence. We know the all-loving intelligence of God is all-powerful, and that power, that intelligence, that love indwells within each and every one of us. Just like a drop of water into the ocean, we are that one with God. Everything that God is indwells within us, and we know that it is beyond our personality. It is beyond our gender, our race. It is beyond our age, situation, and circumstance. We return to the beginning. We return to the beginning, which is the eternal, and we allow ourselves to go deeper and higher, knowing the world is cooperative. There is a symbiosis back of all life that is seeking only good. Today we relinquish any idea or belief associated with an adversary or an enemy. We relinquish and let go of any ideas of victimization and move into victorious magnificence of divine strength. We allow ourselves to be inspired only by providence, only by divine illumination. We allow ourselves to be enthusiasted and invigorated by the divine. We have every gift, every talent we need, everything to thrive. We open to that. We allow our first, second, third, fourth, fifth energy fields to be resplendent. Wherever forgiveness is necessary, we allow it to go before us, behind us, to make the crooked path straight. We allow everything in our life to be up-leveled in benevolent, brilliant, elegant, immediate, efficient, immaculate ways. We rock and soul, we move into the behoove groove deeper and higher than ever before, allowing our good to lift us. We acquiesce, we surrender. We allow ourselves to know what it means when the brilliant master, St. Francis of Assisi, said that use me as an instrument of thy love, of thy joy, of thy good. Simply allowing our oneness and our allness and our wholeness to thrive itself and know itself. In God all things are made new, and we allow that to be right here, right now. We ground it so, know it so, accept it so, embrace it so, benevolently, joyously, in fun and glorious ways. We agree to allow it to be, signing on the spiritual dotted line by saying, and so I let it be.
So I let it be.
And so it is.
So it is.
Amen.
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 Ashe. Aho. Mahalo. Shalom. Hotep. And hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
All right, Soul Center. We are ready for, we've completed this portion of our service and we're moving out of the offering angels. We're going to come forward for our conscious timing and circulation. So thank you, Christy and Paulette, for coming up. As you at home and you here are preparing your tithe, remember, anytime we're giving, we are giving knowing that we are moving into the abundant realm of circulation and expansion of good. Just like it says, we are so blessed to live in a country that it says right on our currency, in God we trust. We trust in God to bring back and supply us with everything we need. Many different ways that you can tithe. You can go to the Tithely, tith.ly line, and you can sign up and get that app on your phone, or you go to the App Store or the Google Store, and you can get that as a way to tithe instantly from any cellular device. Those of you here, as the offering angels come forward, you're going to, if you want to put cash or checks, we're wonderful with that. We are a 501c3 religious organization, so it is all tax deductible. You can also text the word GIVE to area code 669-342-2157. And you can also mail checks into our physical address, which is not here. It's on our website, and you can find that there. It's in the program if you ever feel like doing that. We appreciate that. They're going to go forward, and if you have a blue butterfly and you're putting that in the basket, that doesn't mean you're a big fan of butterflies. It means you're on our auto program. And with that, take it away, Amy.
When you see fear coming, trying to cast a shadow
put you to work. Even those of you streaming in live, we're going to put you to work. You're going to go ahead and you're going to outstretch the palms of your hands as an extension of our heart and our prayers. And we take a moment as we remember the truth that there is one overflowing, abundant power that only seeks to thrive itself, give itself. We know that God is all loving, all giver, never withholding. We take a moment as we remember the truth of what it means that I am as thou art as I am, that the power of creation indwells within us, the power of circulation, the power and the magnificence of abundance. We take a moment to know that blessing is our gift, it is our birthright, it is our duty, and we bless this offering. We bless this offering in deep thanksgiving and gratitude, knowing there is a divine plan for Soul Center, individually and collectively. We are saying yes to more prosperity, that the highest, greatest, grandest vision and version of our community thrives itself as all needs met. We allow ourselves to know that circulation expands. We feed into that by blessing. We give thanks and we allow it all to be even better than we can ever imagine with our surface minds by saying, and so let it be. Amen. Amen. Thank you, ushers.
Thank you. I love the music. My name is Alyssa and I'm here with Sadie. We spoke about gratitude today. Gratitude being feeling great and full satisfaction with what we already have. And so that starts with our senses, which means that even on a tough day, if you're having a bad day, you can really think about anything, beginning with your hands, right? What can we do with our hands? We can pray with our hands, we can put our hands over our hearts, and then we can really expand from there and use our imagination and creativity. So Sadie got really creative with me, and we made a lot of art, and she made some costumes, and we just thought about how we're so grateful for how paper took us those places. Mm-hmm.
Don't give up. All right, folks, so we're going to rise, and we're going to do our closing song. The words of which we'd like to exercise our vocal cords are in your program. Please join us.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as our power, love all we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my song of love. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it
Oh, how good it is to know that we say yes. We allow peace, joy, beauty, wellness, goodness, fun to begin, flow through, circulate, and end through to and as our lives. Something wonderful has taken place here. A contagion of good is saying, yes, know me as fun, know me as good as our lives, individually and collectively. We are launching into a greater good, the greatest, grandest vision and version of our lives. It has been cultivated here, fertilized here. We are allowing it to grow and blossom even better, even more. We simply